What's up, everybody? So I have an update on the status of me looking for my biological father. Actually, I did find him. As you all know, he is deceased, but I was able to get his certificate of death, and it actually was very easy to get. I did not have to pay for it, and it all worked out for me. So this, my friends, will be the last and final video that I do on my biological father. I believe now I have some kind of closure with, after speaking with my mom. My mom had revealed a lot of the things that had taken place back in the early 60s as to why they are no longer together. So, but it still doesn't give the man the right to just walk away from his children and not having anything to do with us. Basically, I went directly through the funeral home that had laid my dad out. Now, this was 22 years ago, and they explained to me that they do hold their records go as far back as 1940. So all I basically had to do was give his name, when he died, and give a birth date, and they were able to get that for me right away. And as far as the information on the one video where I explained about how I believe the reason why the family did not get back to me is because I had a feeling that the woman that was lying in bed with my dad when my mother caught them or busted them, it in fact was the same woman, and that is the woman that he remained married to until he had died. So how I know that, my mother was able to give me the woman's name, and this, listen y'all, this was this is since the early 60s, and she told me the woman's very first name, and that is the exact name that has been coming up as part of his family, or that was his spouse. So I know for a fact now that that is the one main reason why I was not getting calls, which is okay. I'm fine with that. I'm done. I don't need to talk to them. I don't need anything from them, okay? But I'm going to share with you, go a little bit deeper and tell you how my dad died. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because I have the very same symptoms. And I think it's important for anybody that has any particular, well, listen, this stems back to my mother's grandfather. And so anyways, basically my dad, he worked for a power company, and he worked in the boiler room, and it turns out that my dad had a massive heart attack. He died instantly. They did perform an autopsy on him, and unfortunately he was type 2 diabetic. I as well am type 2 diabetic, and in fact most of my sisters do have diabetes. So it's something that, if anything, it sort of made me a little more at ease to be able to now tell my doctor, listen, this is how my biological dad had died. He had the very same thing. And also with my mother talking to me a little bit, heart attacks do run in the family. So what do you do? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I mean, there's nothing you can do. All you can do is to try to do your best to avoid a heart attack. So as far as where I started with this, with Ancestry.com, listen, I give that app, I give that program a 5-star. Ancestry.com basically gave me everything that I needed to get to this point. And all the information that they provided was accurate. It was all accurate information. And yeah, it was very interesting, very, very interesting. And if anything, I ended up with having a total of about 37 people on my family tree. I chose not to go any further with it because I started to hit the 1800s, and I'm thinking, okay, I just didn't want to take it any further. I was on a mission. I just wanted to know about my dad. And, you know, if anything, now I have some closure. I have some closure with this, and I can move on now. You know, I got the full story from my mom. She did explain to me exactly how it all happened, what happened, and, you know, am I still angry with my dad? You know what? Yeah, I kind of am. That's something that I need to deal with, only because my dad chose to, you know, he had 4 children, and my mother was his wife, and he chose to walk away from everything just to be with this other woman. I mean, basically, he just dropped us, completely dropped us, and to start another life with this woman. My dad, I'm putting it all out there, my dad had 4 more children, okay? He had 4 more children with the same woman, and man, he had a total of 8 kids, and my gosh, seriously? I mean, but he only had a relationship with, you know, the woman that he was married to until he died. So, you know, whether or not, you know, my mom had something to do with him leaving, I don't know. A lot of times we're going to tell you what the other person had done wrong, but it doesn't even matter at this point. All I know is I have some closure now. I know how my dad died. I'm not really happy with how it all went down, but that's life, right? I mean, we all have experiences in life. Things are thrown at us, thrown into our lives. We're either going to walk through some darkness for a while, and it's all really a learning experience, and hopefully, you know, you grow from that and you become a better person. I feel, though, you know, through these videos that I was doing, giving people the impression maybe that you know, that I didn't have a good life. That's not true. I actually had a very good life, and I have a beautiful, loving wife today, and, you know, we have a great time together, you know what I mean? And we're just living life day by day. And through this whole process, Ancestry.com is a 5-star program for me, and I would recommend it to anybody that's in search of a loved one. If they just want to know a little bit more about their family, they will. The information that you put in, it does work. It is very accurate. You know, when my mom told me the name of this woman, she said she didn't really know her, but she knew her name. And when she told me her name, that was it for me, because this woman, her name kept coming up as being the spouse of my biological dad, and she was still his spouse till the day he died. So it's very accurate information, and I learned some things about my grandfather. I learned some things about people that I didn't know that were part of the family. And you could actually take it even further. You could take it as far back as you know, are you part Chinese, part Indian, part whatever? I don't need to know all that. It doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. So I got closure today. The day that we are to have this eclipse, I got closure on my life with this thing with my dad. You know, all things happen for a reason. I just woke one day just thinking about my real dad and wondering if he was still alive, what kind of life he led. I don't really know what kind of life he led. But you know, if anything, it helps me now medically, knowing what he has died from, knowing that he was type 2 diabetic. That will help me a lot, because now I can give this information to my doctors and say, listen, this is something that runs in the family. You know, my dad died from this. So I mean, massive heart attack, I know it happens to a lot of people pretty much every day around the world. I'm pretty certain of that. You know, I'm just wondering, is it neglect on his part? Was it something that just was out of control, and it just eventually, that was it? You know, you have massive heart attacks or you have strokes for one reason, and that is you have blockage. You got blockage somewhere, and to my understanding, he had blockage in the arteries. They did do an autopsy on him to reveal that this was the cause of his death. So you know, at first, knowing that he worked at a power company, you know, it stated in there that he was stricken. He was stricken, and I was thinking right away my dad was electrocuted. You know, I thought, wow, he got electrocuted at work. That was my very first thought. And it wasn't until like maybe 2 or 3 days later, I'm thinking, well, stricken doesn't necessarily mean electrocution. Okay, stricken could be anything. So that's what made me try to go a little bit deeper to find out how did he die. And you know, my hats go off to this funeral home that gave me the information. They were absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. They all I basically told them was, listen, you know, this is my biological dad. I just need to know how he died. And you know, this was something from 22 years ago, and they said, well, we go back as far as 1940. So amazingly, they brought up his information right away, revealed to me over the phone how he died, and then asked if I would like to have a copy of the certificate of death. That they sent it to me by email. So that's it, y'all. I have now gotten closure with my biological dad. I'm done with it. I don't need to move on any further with it. And I just want to thank you all for checking out my videos, leaving the comments. You know, even if those of you that don't subscribe to my channel, I still thank you for watching my videos. I really truly appreciate it, and I couldn't ask for you know, better results through this whole process. So like I said, Ancestry.com, 5-star to me, #1. It was like tops for me. It gave me everything, everything that I was looking for. And so look for better things coming, y'all, because I got some things lined up. I'm hoping that this eclipse happens here soon. I was actually doing what's it called? Oh man, I just lost my whole train of time-lapse video. There it is. It came back to me. Time-lapse video. I had it set up, and I'm like, okay, is anything going to happen here? And it's so hot outside that you just can't stand outside in this. So I went back inside where it was cooler, and maybe when I get back home, I'm actually waiting for the wife. When I get back home, hopefully things will start happening here, and I'll get some stuff on video. So hey, keep it real, y'all. Keep it real. Don't give up on anything that you're pursuing. Don't give up on it. Just keep shooting and fighting, and don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't do it. And I will definitely, hold on, I'm a little bit lost here with where I'm at, but you all need to just keep it real, okay? And just love the ones that you're with. All right, and I'll talk to you guys later. wow, that was pretty messed up, the ending of that one.